This week's Torah portion is the portion of Vayera, marked by the Akedah Yitzchak, the willingness of Avraham, Abraham, our forefather, to offer Yitzchak, Isaac, his beloved son, as an altar, on the altar, to God, as a presumed sacrifice to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to Hashem, after receiving this directive from Hashem and demonstrating his loyalty, his unswerved allegiance to Hashem, and cementing their rapport, their emunah, their faith-based relationship and covenant with one another as such. The ultimate test that Avraham receives, demonstrating that he's willing to give his son as a sacrifice to Hashem, if that is what Hashem asks him to do. But what's fascinating is that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God asks Avraham to do so, he describes Yitzchak, Isaac, as Binchincha, Yechidecha, Asher Ahavta. Your son, Ben, we've said many times, Ben, son, comes from Levenim, Bniyah, the one and only that you would build and construct a legacy with. Yechidecha, Yechid Echad, the absolute unique son that you have, because he's the only one that Avraham has from Sarah. And then he says, Asher Ahavta, the son that you love. What does it mean, Ahavta? Let's ask a basic fundamental question. What does it mean to love? Rav Shamshon Raphael Hirsch says an unbelievable insight, and it relates both from parents to their children, vice versa, and all people that ultimately we're supposed to ohev, love. Says Rashar Hirsch that ahav, the root of ohev, comes from the word hav, hey bet. Ahav, aleph, hey bet, to love, is hav, to give. When someone really loves someone, they are willing and prepared to give anything for that relationship, for that person, for that allegiance. And sure enough, the opposite of ahav, to love, is saneh. Lisno, saneh, sin, nun, aleph, is to hate. But where does it come from? Says Rashar Hirsch, it comes from saneh. Saneh is a bush, but it's a specific type of bush. For example, when Moshe Rabbeinu saw the bush being consumed by fire, or being spread with fire but not being consumed, it says he saw the sneh bo'er ba'esh. A sneh is a thorn bush. It is a bush with prickly thorns on it, and therefore it pushes and does not invite people in, but dissuades them from coming close to it. It encourages them to stay away. When someone hates someone, they're not mekarev, they don't bring them close, they're not willing to give, but they rather distance themselves from them. They want them to stay away. And they dissuade and ultimately discourage them from creating rapport with them. And therefore, what we learn from here is that le'ahov, something that or someone that we really love, that we really care about, we are willing and prepared to have, to give them anything in the world. I remember after my grandmother died, it was a surprise, it wasn't unexpected. I had been with her for Pesach, and right after she died the day after she returned home from Israel. And I remember saying immediately, Bubi, if I had known that you were going to die, I would have given you more hugs. I would have given you another kiss. I would have told you another story. But sometimes we don't have that opportunity, le'ehov, to show that giving in our love anymore, because the person is not with us. And so, what we learn from here is that we have to take the advantage of the people around us that we ohev, that we love, demonstrating to them that we will give them anything in the world because of our love for them. There are people out there, so many people out there, and I got so many calls this past week, so many children who are suffering, so many parents who are confused, who don't know what to do. The first and foremost ingredient that we have to remember is le'ehov. Not only to love, not only to speak and talk the talk, but to walk the walk by have, by demonstrating to that person who's in crisis, who's dealing with a challenge, who's dealing with an issue, I am prepared to give you anything in the world in order to bring you to a better place. And that is how I continue to love ahav, Gila. Have. I want to give. I want to demonstrate to Gila that I love her by giving to more people who are in crisis, by giving to them and helping them get through it, so that ultimately we can give the gift of life to all and preserve it as such. This is the Torah way. It was Abraham's way. It is the Jewish way. And it always will remain the Gila way. Shabbat Shalom.